Look up at the night sky. What do you see? You see stars, billions of them. Each star is a sun, just like our own. Many of these suns have planets orbiting them. We call them exoplanets. For a long time we could only guess if they were there. Now we know they are. We live on one of these small islands, a pale blue dot called Earth. Are we alone? This is perhaps one of the biggest questions we can ask. For as long as we have been human, we have been searching. We have explored every continent on our planet. We have even walked on the moon. We have sent out probes that have left our solar system, carrying messages from humanity. For decades, projects like SETI have used giant radio dishes scanning the skies, hoping to catch a signal that is not natural. So far, all we have heard is silence. This silence is strange. Scientists call it the Fermi paradox. Imagine what we could learn. A message from an older, wiser civilization could change everything. It could be the greatest discovery in the history of science. It could be a profound, shared experience for every human being alive. We would no longer be Americans or Russians, Chinese or Brazilians. We would be Earthlings. Faced with the reality of others in the universe, we might finally start to act as a unified world. It would capture the imagination of children and adults alike. What if the silence of the universe is not an invitation but a warning? This is the core of an idea known as the dark forest hypothesis. Imagine a dark forest filled with hunters, all hiding silently behind trees. The first one to make a sound, to reveal its location, is the first one to be targeted and eliminated. History on our own planet is full of examples of what happens when a more advanced civilization meets a less advanced one. The results are often disastrous for the less advanced group. Those who advocate for caution, like the late physicist Stephen Hawking, urge us to listen, not to shout. Thanks to powerful telescopes like the Kepler Space Telescope, we are finding potentially habitable planets by the thousands. We can detect these distant worlds when they pass in front of their star, causing a tiny dip in the star's light. This light carries chemical fingerprints, telling us what gases are present. This is the core idea behind SETI. The universe is full of natural radio noise, but an intelligent civilization might produce signals that stand out. There have been exciting moments like the famous WOW signal in 1977, but it was never detected again. The search continues and is getting more advanced. The silence leads to another frightening thought: the Great Filter. This idea suggests there is some kind of barrier that is incredibly difficult for life to overcome. What if the Great Filter is still ahead of us? The filter could be a challenge that nearly every advanced technological civilization faces. Perhaps they unleash devastating wars with nuclear weapons, or create uncontrollable artificial intelligence. Climate change, pandemics, and the threat of nuclear war are all potential civilization-ending events. The Great Filter argument suggests our priority should be to ensure our own long-term survival. We might be racing towards a cliff that we cannot even see. On one side are the optimists, scientists who believe the potential rewards of contact far outweigh the hypothetical risks. The late great astronomer Carl Sagan was a powerful voice for this hopeful perspective. He helped design the Voyager Golden Records, our first messages in a bottle thrown into the cosmic ocean. On the other side stand the cautionaries, thinkers who urge restraint and emphasize the magnitude of unknown risks. Science fiction author David Brin argues that we can't base our survival strategy on hope alone. This cautionary stance is fundamentally about risk management on a planetary scale. We find ourselves at a remarkable crossroads, a junction where our drive to explore collides with our instinct for self-preservation. It forces us to balance the tantalizing promise of unimaginable discovery against the terrifying possibility of existential peril. Once we send a powerful, deliberate message, we can never call it back. It's a permanent decision made on behalf of every human being who will ever live. The question of whether to contact alien life is, in many ways, less about them and more about us. The entire conversation acts as a giant mirror. When we imagine benevolent aliens, we project our hopes. When we imagine hostile invaders, we project our fears about our own nature. The simple question, who speaks for Earth, reveals our profound disunity as a global community. Perhaps the very act of pondering this question is a sign of our species' coming of age. We are thinking on timescales of centuries and millennia. We are considering the fate of our descendants, and what kind of ancestors we will choose to be. It is the beginning of our transition from a terrestrial species to, perhaps one day, a cosmic one. And so, we are left where we began, staring up at the endless, star-dusted night. The universe does not offer us any easy answers. The technology is ready. The debate is underway. The final unspoken question is not just what we should do, but what kind of ancestors we will choose to be. What will be our legacy in this vast cosmic story that is still waiting to be written?